Welcome to another episode of At Your Disclosure. I am your lucky host, Alex Ruben Tobor. And I say lucky because I'm very appreciative of everything. And no matter what in life, if you think it's bad, just realize of just realize how lucky you are to have been born at the right time and at the right place because nowhere in life can you go forward and realize the advancements of mankind. Yeah, John Simon, enthusiast biker, bank account in Las Vegas, and possibly relocating because I found it hard here in Phoenix, Arizona. And these are the last days of the Palmer residence, Casa Alex, also known as. And I have here Lincoln, number two. The original Lincoln passed away. Well, he was ran over by the corner people, Candy Brown, and it's unfortunate that people have to act this way. I've lived in different areas all over the world, and just to have an obsessed person, it's beyond me. A lot of times, it's due to the fact that what we hear, and we choose to believe the negativity as a reflection of your own personality. But we're moving forward. The place we're stayed, I won't disclose it yet, but you know, the freedom of speech grants you annuity into whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. Just like what I just said. It we give definition to the words that are spoken. So even if you say a word where it's perceived as negative, a negative word like the N word, for instance, it's almost like I wouldn't be able to wear New Balances comfortably. And no pun intended. I love everyone. I have nothing against anyone. And I don't know what ticks people off, or if you create something, it will catch on, and before you know it, everyone will be saying the F word, like for reals. And the reason that word came out is because of working for G4 Secure Solution as an armed bank protection, customer protection officer, critical facility officer, and protest officer, meaning that you've worked at a nuclear power plant and just different levels of the government. There's how, as far as you want to take yourself, anything's possible. I'm watching the morning news here, and we actually been involved in several protests as well as bank emergencies. So wherever you want to take your career, you could definitely soar high if you put your mind to it. And being First Friday, shout outs to Trent Koofman. It was his birthday yesterday. And normally on my social networks, I'll uh, I'll feature a friend or family member as a way to recognizing the person. And if I have you on my Facebook or Instagram, it's because I have admiration for you, and even the people that are viewed in a negative way. All this can be archived because I'm tired of fighting you with my sister. I look at her and just people are some people are motivated. Some people have it good enough where they feel they don't have to work. She has an ideology that uh, because that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, basically. She feels that men out of work and women out of just raise kids. So she has a backwards mentality, and I'm not to judge her, but when you come to our house, obviously, like I've said it before on my show, that my wife got this house for us as a married couple. And I'm not gonna lie, how I feel about my wife. I still care about her. I love her. In fact, I told her the other day, despite me talking with Kim, but which is I'll tell you something about the legend of Chum and Taint. It started off with my brother and I on Fridays. Um, we were outside, and I had told my brother when we were mowing the lawn that he smells chummy to me. So I decided to call him Chum, and I'm your host, Taint Tobor, at your disclosure. And when I say that, normally I end the show with a smile or a devil sign. But, got Lincoln here. Had to feed him a little Velveeta. And a little parched. So, grab me a refreshment real quick. Yeah, freaking. It's time to better ourselves. Like I said, I don't want to fight with my family members. And a lot of times they take you for granted. So, I'm going to place this here in the meantime. And, I had quit drinking for about 5 months. And I had drank once on my birthday, September 19th, 2021, and I got drunk. My own family members, like I said. I know it's probably poor lighting, but it's probably better. Don't think you want to see me in the morning without applying makeup like Prince would have his girls sleep over. He'd have to apply makeup for going to bed. And some people look different without their concealment, but so another hint of advice when bank protecting, when working at a banking center. Pay attention to just any concealment, any form of concealment like makeup. Like I said before on videos, there was one where a former bank robber that was recruited by the FBI to prevent bank robberies, what to look out for, because it's difficult. Sometimes people go visit your banking center and you can't tell their intentions. I mean, it's always the attitude. You think of the people you are protecting, both life and property. And life is precious. I think of my boy B. Dizzle. And man, just to find out, because, I have psychic abilities that most of the time I'd rather not pay attention, but if it's obvious, and I've explained it before, it's the subconscious that is speaking to you from a distance. So if a person has a negative attitude, then I can decipher it almost immediately. So you have to be careful, and knowing this, people are gonna just mess with you. So even if I decide to enlist, like I said in my last segment, or even if I'm standing post, and I consider the military realistic because it's not going well with my family. They have targeted me. I've been here in Arizona, relocated back from Las Vegas, and I lived in different parts of the country, but been in Arizona for about 8 years coming back, and this is where I was raised in Phoenix, Arizona since the age of 4. I attended Crockett Elementary. That would send us to Griffith School I'm not even sure why they did. Oh, it must have been overcrowded. But from Crockett and Griffith, back to Crockett, and then on to Longview Elementary, where we ended up moving towards 12th Street in Devonshire. But before that, when we first moved to Phoenix, we stayed near the school, which is the major crossroads would be McDowell or 36th Street, I believe, 32nd, 36th, right in front of the Celebrity Theater, and in between McDowell and Van Buren. So, it was rough back then. They'll trip on you for just about anything. My brother, you would get in a lot of fights, and one thing I learned about preventing fights is if your attitude's everything, but if you know how to communicate effectively, if you can reach out to the person and make them understand that you're no different than them, if there's an understanding. I mean, if you have to defend yourself, defend yourself. That's just how it is. It's in the words of the great Robert Brooks, survive. After piloting an F-35. And yeah, life is great. I think of all the positive people in my life, and the utmost respect and admiration to all my bank captains, majors, fellow officers, and upper management positions like Drew Levine. And even on my Facebook, there was a memory shared through Facebook memories, and it featured Mr. Levine and the passing of his father, Murray Levine, and it's a shame, it's he came up with the concept of the coast protection officer that has generated. I'm trying to remember the about. It generated a pretty big number. Probably my next episode, I'll probably feature all this. Just try to remember because I don't want to give you a wrong number. I'll give you a rough estimate. Generated, I want to say, man, like around 50 million. So, or more than that. Let me, if I can remember. But it's a good amount, and a custody protection officer, bank protection officer go hand in hand. They are no difference. I mean, the only difference is, well, bank protection officer specializes in banking centers, but not just in banking centers because I mean, there's critical facility officers, and then there's bank protection officer, and then there's custody protection officer. Custody protection officer could work anywhere, any site. He's certified, he's qualified, he has either military or law enforcement, has an impressive background, or college. So with that being said, you are being sent a quality certified custody protection officer to your facilities, to place of residence, to schools, prisons, jails, anywhere you could think of, government institutions, just about anywhere. And there's a lot of classified information where you want the right person at the right place at the right site. And look no further. Usually, a typical bank protection officer, which is part of the custody protection officer division, gets paid around $65 an hour, and it gets broken down into benefits, but at the same time too, it generates money to the company before being sold. After Mr. Levine's passing, Drew Levine, well, they just decided, well, just to merge with Allied Universal, and a lot of times someone will pay someone less, and like I said, dime a dozen. So that's why it's kind of hard to keep the custody protection officer division alive when you pay for what you get, and it's well worth it. But a lot of times, just the economy could be slow, and it affects us all. So hear noises. Oh, that's the shower. It's dripping water. I thought that someone's approaching us, but yeah, after the passing of a loved one, then the economy, the way it's been affected by COVID. A lot of businesses closed down, and I've been affected by it big time. Everyone, I could tell you how. Out of work, behind the scenes, and I would still rove around the banking centers as a bank captain, and what bank captain isn't a PSM, and a lot of times you don't want to disclose your title, and believe it or not, you don't know who's who, because I'll give you an example. Maria G. Dominguez, before I met her, I couldn't tell she was the PSM, protective service manager, until she got in front of about over 50 to 60 bank protection officers, all in uniform, at the Buckeye location for Bank of America, one of the Bank of America hubs. And you couldn't tell. She's probably in her 50s when she was giving the speech, and you couldn't tell. Just typical older lady, just dressed in casual clothing, and it's, you couldn't tell. So a lot of times you mistake status for stature, as, and this is a good example where, for instance, when I was at Tempe 3, Tempe 14, when I relocated back to Phoenix, I would explain to this officer that was in BPO uniform at Tempe 3, Tempe 14 corporate site. that Berkey Bile is our supervisor. He's our shift supervisor, and I told him how things are here, and one of the reasons why, uh, when we had first acquired Christopher Martin, 19 kilo, former Army tanker, 10 years. Uh, Berkey Bile is well aware that I was going to tell him exactly how things are run here, and at Tempe 3, we like to keep everything just within the proximity of the building. We don't like it. We don't like, the office finding out anything. We manage our own. It's basically almost like a sovereign state, sovereign nation. And I noticed that a lot is going on. Like I said, it's never easy to part ways and a lot to think about. But try not to go off track because I'm connecting all this. So he had told me, oh, I see because of his height that, uh, prospectively, well, if he is tall, he will lead. And greatness is measured from the neck and up, just like a royal. He was our site supervisor that was higher than the other shift supervisors, as well as John Simon, bank captain. Las Vegas, that's my favorite bank captain, considered the greatest bank captain of all time. He was about my height, but in his vehicle, I would joke around to one of my friends that's, uh, he's a club manager for the Whiskey Rose, mainly the Tennessee location. I believe it's Deirdre. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Uh, but it is a whiskey road train, and he also manages other clubs around the country. And I actually considered relocating either Tennessee or Illinois. Just a lot of places that I might just end up going because just noticing the family. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I also reached out to several relatives earlier today, just because circumstances has it that we can no longer live together. Like I said, they've occupied my home for 8 years. My niece is around 7, I believe, 7 or 8, and they took us for granted. But I'm not gonna let this hold me back from doing what I need to do. It's within my nature to succeed, just like my career in law enforcement, without having to shout it. And that's exactly what I did with the BPO meeting and the PSM giving a speech. Trent Koofman had asked everyone to stay standing. Who's been a bank protection officer, who's been a bank protection officer for more than a year, stay standing. So just about everyone stood standing. Who's been a bank protection officer for 2 years? It reduced. As soon as he said the three marker, only three of us were standing. And at the time, because I had given myself a leave of absence due to some medical issues, uh, he had asked the three officers, including myself, why do you do what you do? One officer said he liked it. The other officer, I forgot what he said, but when it came to asking me, why do you do what you do? Oh, enforcement. Everyone was surprised. So Trent Koofman had asked me about the police academy, but having coming from Las Vegas, I had experience, and that's what I had transferred for originally. But the transfer didn't go through. They waited 3 months. I figured till my seniority expired, having two PID numbers and former LVMPD and former Phoenix PD, as well as MCSO, and having to come back, I started with Scottsdale PD and Tempe PD. So you go to different departments, and working with Phoenix PD, uh, it's difficult due to the nature of the beast where competition is all. Unfortunately, it works out this way where you find out something about someone and you're going to tell someone that's a lazy way to compete. But my heart is in the right place when it comes to enforcing the law. It's something that runs in the family, and a lot of times you're not gonna walk around, making yourself an obvious target. So you do what you can, and there's different levels of law enforcement I worked with. The FBI, being stationed at Quantico, working for the CIA. Uh, but the beauty of it with the FBI, Department of Justice and Department of Defense, foreign and domestic, but at the same time too, you could work with different agencies, different departments. Uh, just like I said, if I want to work SWAT, I'll go to Texas, I'll go to Las Vegas. It's you want to work with the U.S. Marshals, you could do that in search of dangerous criminals. And for the most part, it's just investigated with the FBI. But there is cases where we target a wanted criminal, and it's never easy. There's a lot of door busting and just going in there and raiding the place, and you got to see what's beyond the target. And I'll go in detail with my law enforcement career and military, but not wanting to disclose too much because of the book that I am working. The major, the major, the major attention is on the banks in case anyone is interested in working at a banking center. And I was telling my brother that when I first took a leave of absence and being there long enough, my career in law enforcement, that even standing post at a bank before leave of absence, close to 3 years. So it was more like 2 years and 7 months. So I would look at the structure of the building and pay attention to every little thing, even the way it's designed. And most Bank of Americas are designed almost identical, but each bank is unique and important. But even if you look at some of the wall structures, where they'll have uh, just just what would it be called? Just just rocks that are placed in the wall structure, and you pay attention to every single little thing, from the ants crawling on it, the tiniest little ants, to just, man, you really have all this time to pay attention, and you end up appreciating what you have, and without realizing how much time will fly. When I first started, oh man, my leg hurt it, because in back before the cell phone upgrade, we had the secure checks, which was a miniature computer block that a lot of business owners use, a lot of companies, including Amazon and FedEx and UPS. That's what they're known for, those little computer blocks. And you carry it on one side, so on a pouch that you can attach to your belt, and then you have your service duty weapon. And if you carried a sidearm on your ankle, all that weighs you down. And if you brought more weapons to uh, if you brought more weapons, then you keep them in your vehicle, in your trunk, and you take cover behind behind vehicles, behind an engine block. You always want to see what's beyond the target, and never an easy moment, but at the same time too, not wanting to get hitting the wrong person. You don't want to be involved in a lawsuit, and it's risky. You could. It's unfortunate too, but bullets have no name, and you do what you can to do your job. And on rare occasions, you have to engage in physical and lethal force. So, but recognizing the patterns it's what it leads to being a successful officer in any division. Uh, you definitely want to do a good job and be proud of yourself. I argue a lot with my brother. He's always just bad mouthing me, the business, and what I do, and it's unbearable, because at times I get pushed over the edge of the way things are, and don't want to stick a label on them, but you have criminal tendencies that remain in some, and it's nothing you can do. So fall for the same trap's gonna be on me this time. So it's better if I just let them be, man. It's almost like, I've read the King James version where the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years for the simple fact that the old aren't going to change, so their intelligence crystallized, and that's it. So it's about accepting. Same thing with my parents. They could come to my house and think that just because you're my parent that you have authority over what I do or say. And just focusing on me is pathetic because I'm only one person. Like I said, my wife and I split. And it's unfortunate the way things turned out because after her mother passed away, we were still together. And, just I had allowed her to do a lot of things on her own just for her to better cope with the loss of her mother, but she took advantage. A lot of times, I've noticed things where I'm just like, great. One of the reasons why I'd have my brother escort her as a chaperone, accommodate her, or my niece, Angelique, or my other niece, Alicia, and, just she had gotten used to it, but just the reason having that accommodation is because of the past. It's almost like, well, if you do this to me, if you lie to me, and you tell me you're going to be home by 11, come home at 3, then what am I going to be thinking? Some of the excuses, oh, that there were some friends of my cousin, uh, Lorena Anna, that were real respectful. My head started hurting, so I went into the car. This is when we were first dating. We had moved in already together, but it's to me, I'm just like, okay, so your head was hurting, you went into a vehicle. Why didn't you just come home if you knew you had to be home by 11? Or if I'm not feeling good, I go home. But just that type of behavior that gets me thinking that she may not be trustworthy. To even one time when we were living on 17th Avenue in Camelback, she had gone to her mom had gotten a position with the Campus Court Apartments in Tempe by Broadway, Mill Avenue on Hammond, and she would tell me, "Oh, my brother, uh, you know, wants to pay me $10 a day to help her out," and my wife had actually trained her mother on the software that the property management uses there, and she had offered it to her originally. We could have had a unit there. We probably should have just done that. Would have worked out because she was working at a different apartment site, and just telling me some excuses about the maintenance guy there, Mickey. She would be like, yeah, there was this guy. He was smoking a cigarette, and I kind of wanted one. So when she tells me this kind of things, to later on when we're helping the move from uh, the Glendale house by GCU to the Camps Court Apartments near ASU. Oh, Jazz, your friend and her younger sister, I blurred that out. She had stopped herself. So just shady behavior like that makes you think, and you want to find the right person. You want to find someone who appreciates you, is honest with you, and that's the whole reason I have an accommodation. Because look, man, you broke my trust. It doesn't make sense, and it makes me wonder. You gotta be straight up with the person. If you love someone, you honor them, you respect them, and you accept the fact that that's your partner for life. There's consequences, because to me, a cheating spouse is grounds for divorce. Plain and simple. There's no, well, I thought y'all had it made. And I say that often because that's how my sister's mentality is. And hopefully things change, but like I said, uh, just fought for the same trap, spent 8 years and nothing. My mom had told me 2 months later, stay for 2 months, dwells with my father, let him stay for 2 months. They were going to get a divorce. And he could have said my sister on 35th Avenue in Glendale behind the Food City. And relocating back has been difficult. Um, I've had my vehicle surrounded by 50 to 60 employees at QB first. And I don't mean to bash, like I said, it's the past. But it did cause a reaction in me where I had lost side of reality for a very slight moment. All I was doing was walking. That helped me cope with uh, this impact in my life, and it gets to you. You know, so many people on you, and a lot of times when people are angered, when there's a certain level of anxiety, it 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 reflects off one another. So a lot of times going in public is difficult. This world's full of tension. That's why it is important to communicate effectively, or even a simple greet to break the ice. Doesn't matter what you say; it's how you say it. There's a lot of people that they don't like being spoken to, or they take things for granted. I mean, they're just phrases. Good morning. How are you? How are ya? How you doing? How are you doing? You know, if your intention is good, then what do you have to worry about? Me, I say what I want, what I feel that is appropriate. Take it or leave it. I've had associates over at Concentrics, by me saying good morning, they'll be smart about it. Carrots! Or same thing too, like in Las Vegas, one of the banks on Boulder and Horizon. The bank manager there would always, and you pay attention, you start noticing, because I'll greet people with a simple good morning, because it's a start of a conversation. You know, it's good manners, it's good practice, it's good customer service as well. You get a glimpse of the person's intention. You have a good or a bad attitude. So the lady would notice, the associates always notice, of course. You're the first person anyone meets on the property anywhere. So uh, your role in any company, whatever assigned to matters, is going to generate either good or bad attention. And we have the link in there. He eats cockroaches, uh, and I could have, I fed him some Velveeta cheese. I made myself weenie quesadilla earlier with Bar S, and it's funny because my wife had actually applied. I'm trying to remember if it is Bar S downtown Phoenix, but I don't know. You get a lot of places that they just take you for granted, but I don't know. Gonna miss this kid. I'm not sure if we're gonna take him. So hopefully he is well. I know where we're going. It's temporary. Didn't want to commit myself to anything permanent at the time because, like I said, not sure if I'm gonna stay in the state of Arizona or in Phoenix or just relocating. It saddens me, because I have my family here. A good majority of my family are here in Phoenix, Arizona, situated. Like I said, I've been here since the age of 4 till the age of 37. So it's something real difficult because even look at this, man. I've been betrayed by just about everyone, and it's unfortunate. But let's tour the place. This interesting cat here. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Usually I greet this friendly cat with "lick it." Yo, begging ass. This is Lincoln too. Like I said, the original Lincoln was ran over by the corner people, and I wept. I didn't think it was going to affect me that much, and even after a while, I talk about it, I think about it, I don't know, it just hit me. So as you age, you start maturing, you start realizing the preciousness of life, and as the day progresses, there's a lot more light being illuminated through the windows, and you save money on electricity. So the place is upside down, and I could guarantee this, and I know all the viewers are going to agree when I tell you this, that if it was just supposed to be the people on the contract, which is my wife and myself, and mother and my brother, just us four, so she was getting a divorce. Though you guys should have seen this place, the way it looked. The way it looked was man, it was in mint condition. And it's unfortunate that things have turned out this way. Like I said, I know I showed you guys this room, but this is nothing. Like I said, the only thing that's gonna be needed is the walls painted, the floor. You could give it a good scrub, and It should be good. This is good wood flooring, and just the people you live with, man. Freaking just take you for granted. Want to just have kids and bum it. So those are negative people that you have to just let them be, man. It's unfortunate that they took you for granted, but it's a life lesson. I don't know why my mom insists on us being all together. That she thinks that they are defenseless or useless being an American citizen. It's your responsibility to get your life going. Yeah, my father got this the Nintendo. Well, it's probably gonna be a second part to this. He had gotten this on layaway over at uh when we were living when we used to attend Crockett School at a trailer park home that my uncles got. Uh, bless their soul. They're good people. No one's perfect in this world, but most definitely generous. When we first moved down here, uh, we're staying with my uncle and two of my uncles and an aunt. My uncle Astolfo and my uncle Astolfo, owner of Wife's Choice Properties, co-owner with his partner Chuck, both owners of Storm Wisdom and Wife's Choice Properties, and my uncle Rafael. Uh, he is he's upper management over at Roadway, which is now YRC. And then my aunt Nydia, she also works at a meat department, and she's also upper management. So quality people to be around and very knowledgeable, very wise. So they were generous enough to let us occupy their trailer, and they had gotten their own trailer. And that's the quality of life you give yourself. You associate yourself with good, honest people as opposed to the wrong people. And I don't understand the attitude for or the what's it called, the the way a person is. But I'm gonna go on a break because it's prolonging the ending of at your disclosure here at the Palmer residence, also known as Custody Alex. So it's Alexis Ruben Tomor at your disclosure.